Hey guys, let me just set up a chat. I wonder whether there was something that I'd missed. Right, hope you're all well. Got another stream. Just check that that's all right there. Let me get the chat up. Do that here. How's that sound? Testing 1, 2, 3. How's that sound? Testing 1, 2, 3. Sounds alright to me. Jarrell, how are you doing? Okay, right. I think this may be slightly out of place. Let me try and get this right. Hopefully, there you go. Right. Got the new Lairs Expansion here. I'm going to have a go over that in a minute. Hey Wade, how you doing? Johnny. Ah, not first in. That means I didn't look like a stalker. That's alright. That's alright, Johnny. Stalkers are welcome in this channel. How's everybody doing? So, a little bit of a run through today. We're going to have a look at the new Lairs book. Talk about what's going out tomorrow. I've got a little agenda list here. We've got some replacement cards to look at. And talk about the foe, some other bits and pieces. And then, hello. Dragon Shadow. Cody, how you doing? Hello, Toby. Not sure if there was a notification, but is the PDF Lairs Expansion released to backers already? Yes, it is, Cody. I sent it out by email. In fact, we can talk about that now. There's PDF. That's what everybody comes in. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Good to see you. And the Lairs, I'm here, but maybe pulled away at times. Work stuff. No problem, Jeff. No problem. Johnny, may I take the opportunity to say your beard is looking better than ever? That holiday must have done it a world of good. Well, actually, I was thinking I've got to give it a bit of a trim actually. But thank you anyway. Number one stalker. Or is that the other one? Is that the other Johnny? No, that's okay. Right. I'm going to try and say your name. Sakjalm. Oh dear. SK, put how you say your name phonetically. Sajjalm. Is the K silent? Very excited to get my book. Seriously, can't wait to play. Daniel Glassy, how are you doing, Daniel? Hi, looking forward to post coming soon. Yes, I will talk a little bit about that once we get going. Clive, good to see you. Exciting times, everything coming together. It really is coming together. I actually have a card game, Top Beards. It's a real thing. Thank you for the beard. I was thinking about actually shaving the sides a little bit. Maybe just going more front beard, which sounds a bit rude. Because I'm getting older and it's going white around the sides a bit, and I'm like, oh, my wife's so beautiful. She's married to an old man. yeah. So we've got a few things to go over. Just give it a couple more minutes before I start. Yeah. It's pronounced a bit like scale, but not with the arm at the end, and the terrible J, and that terrible J. Scalm. Completely thrown at that. I think scalm. SK. James, good to see you. Hi, all watching while I can, but it's about dinner time here, so I might not pay full attention. And I don't blame you. With a nice big plate of food, James. Tuck in, my friend. Scalm. Okay, we'll go with that for the minute. Yeah, pretty close. Well, that's not bad then. I don't appear to have received the email. The previous email before the one sent was on the August 21st and doesn't include the PDF link. Okay. Right. I need to... I put a little note here. Cody, to send... It was sent out a couple of weeks ago now. I'm pretty sure I put it in an update, but it's difficult to check every update. There are 30, so people miss things. Completely understandable. I will send you that email. One or two people have said, so I think that maybe some have bounced back or just didn't go through, maybe. Because it was a while ago now, it may have actually been deleted out of junk boxes. Yes, thank you, Johnny. There is a slight, subtle... You're the first person to mention that, actually. It does make this bit pop out just slightly above the dungeon. It's very subtle, but it's crisp on this cover, isn't it? Yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks, isn't it? Really, it's been a bit. I've had to sort of step back a notch because it sort of just got so intense, and obviously we went camping, and then last week I was down at my mother-in-law's to help her move some stuff. They're in a whole transitional period in their lives. They're 75. They've moved down to their one of their daughters, and they're in a rented place, and now they're moving to a place they're buying. So I was helping out with that. I did the download on August 17th. If that helped when email sent, thank you, Dragon Shadow. Okay. Joel, we'll sort you out as well. Yeah, this is a problem. I need to put it... What I'll do is Yes, we were intense and a whole bunch of... Hang on a minute. Just look down. There's 2 ants crawling across my desk. I've got an ant infestation. Hang on. I can't... I've got the door open and there's like an ant here. Can you... You probably can't see it. See that? Look. An ant. What's that doing? Jeez. Let's come to have a look at the game. Anyhow. All right. Javier, how you doing? 2 ants. Which one is Deck? The one I just squished. Yeah, so we'll go over this, and yeah, and then there's a few other things we'll talk about. Yeah, okay, so this is the new Lairs book. See if we can go up a little bit there. It's probably that in there we go. That looks nicer. How you doing, Prestige? Roasting tonight here in Edinburgh. How are things down south? It's pretty damn warm. We're having a little mini heat wave at the beginning of autumn. We've got 30 degrees tomorrow with warm evenings. 17 degrees in the evening. Very nice. Tiny Ants 1 HP. I don't think I'd gotten the email either, but Toby mentioned a couple of weeks ago that it was the same link I had from testing. Yes, it is the same testing link, but only a few of you got that. Ants are getting leery. They are. I'm getting attacked by there's this great science fiction movie. There's a great science fiction movie. I think it was made in the 70s, where these colonies of ants take over. And I try to find this film, but I have this image of this lady rising up through this screen of ants or sand or something, and they were all kind of attacked by ants. Yeah. Yeah, phase 4. Yeah. So we've got this. So this is like, I don't know what phase we are. We're piling on through the phases. Okay. So let's have a quick look at this. So I don't want to break the spine on this. Got all the usual, the troublesome folk there. The motley crew. We've got some rules in the beginning. I did put in that example layer that I did, just to show that you don't have to complete the whole level. It's the name of a... Oh, phase 4, is it? Oh, okay. Phase 4. Thank you. I get it. Empire of the Ants, 1970. Empire of the Ants. Right, I'm going to check that out. It creeped the hell out of me. Oh, Johnny, thank you. Thank you. Everybody's clamouring for it. Afternoon, Dominic, afternoon, Toby, and gang. Got held up at work. Hopefully I didn't miss much. No, I've just been procrastinating for this first 10 minutes to allow people to get in, having a general chat about a science fiction film which I want to watch again. Creeped the hell out of me when I first saw it. About ants, and someone's saying it's either Phase 4 or Empire of the Ants. Phase 4 is an ant movie. I have the same memory. Oh my word, Prestige! It was creepy, but I loved that sort of thing. So I'll have to check it out. Although I feel like I've got ants crawling all over me now. I have been attacked by ants. The weather is very conducive to ants at the moment over here, so I'm not surprised there's a few ants around. I don't have a problem with bugs, apart from mosquitoes, obviously. Who doesn't have problems with mosquitoes? Have not seen that film for years. It was super icky to watch. Yeah, I think it felt that way. Very trippy, if I recall it correctly. Yes, that was it. It was trippy and kind of slightly sexy. We had the flying ants in July, all gone now. Okay. Yeah, we had ant nests. So I went out to mow the lawn, and suddenly there was like 20 ants nests across the lawn. It's not a massive lawn or anything. So I knew that there were some ants there, but I thought they'd gone. So maybe this emergence of ants is probably something to do with the fact that I've got a light on and the door open. Maybe they're being drawn in. That could be it. So, yeah. So that's good. I might... Empire of the Ants or Phase 4. Phase 4 sounds like the right one. I think that's got to be it. Phase 4. That rings a bell. Okay. So, right. Let's get back on track here. So we've got the... we have got... Firstly, I'm going to do some sort of update. Maybe if you didn't get the problem, here's the problem, right? I can't post this link on the public forum. Hey Todd, How you doing? I didn't spot you there. Good to see you. We have several super colonies here in Oregon. The city I live in is one large ant nest. Is phase 4 based in Oregon? Do they have meetings start? This ant subject looks like it's got legs. Sorry. Oh dear. Right. So let's have a think about this. Right. So I need to put out running away with it. So I need to put out, I can't put the link on the general forums because not everybody bought the Lairs expansion. So I can't just put it out there as an update. Here's the link, use it. I've had to email it, and as inevitable failure of emailing is some people don't get it. And so I just need to, so basically what happens is if I put an update that says the link for the Lairs expansion is available for those who purchased it during the Kickstarter, I still get a ton of people contact me saying, where's my link? And I check and they didn't actually order the Kickstarter. So we've tried to avoid that, but it looks like we're not going to be able to. I'm going to have to put more of a visual signal out there so people know the Lairs expansion is there and available. So I'll sort that out. I've made a note here. Right, let's have a quick, just carry on looking through the Lairs book here. We've got some new rules put in there, and tables at the back, and the same format of tables. No need to color code these ones. They all fall under the same section really. And then we have the creatures. So there's 4 creatures for each lair. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they each have 4 variants, as we've discussed before. So I've included those in there. I've also included the backs for both types, for the bought cards and the self-print cards, which are black and white, to minimize the use of ink. And they were the original design. And then we've got this cover on the back here with a little bit of description. It's also got a spine there with a name on the spine, so it sits nicely with the other set. You can see that there, hopefully. Sort of, it goes nicely in there, and you have a complete set. I think another project I backed had the problem. If you bought extra content, you get it monthly. If not, you don't. I guess some people who didn't get it thought they should. Well, we put a whole load of extra content in, as you guys know. So I haven't really had anybody complain about not having these things. They just think that they ordered them. And so when I tell them they haven't, they're fine. In fact, they might even go and buy it. So it's not a huge problem, but it can be a bit confusing for us. And it kind of, the workload suddenly it steps up a level, and it's not great. The creator posted an update reminding people that they only get the monthly content if they bought a particular tier. Yeah, that is. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's a bit different. The Inferno, it's meant to be kind of the Flame Wolf. It's meant to be kind of a bit that. It's a bit that. Dragon Shadow James. The other Kickstarter. Cody, curious, what was the reason why you chose to put the tables in the main book in its own book? I'm guessing there's a page limit for the printers. I like the lair rules and tables in the same book. Well, it was, bearing in mind, we made that decision before we printed the books, and I was thinking about playability. So we put the codex separately because I wanted that to be like a tool you could just have separately, which, you know, I mean, because this is going to be used with other expansions, and the rules themselves may well be updated. So whatever happens, this codex is the codex. Whatever happens, this rules is the first edition rules that may well at some point be updated to a second edition rules. So therefore, you're going to want to have the second edition rules with this codex. This codex will never change. I put many pints of blood into this codex, and as a product, it's serviceable as something else. So it was never anything to do with number of pages, because I could put more pages in. I could put that many pages in. So that was the reason. The convenience of 2 books, basically. Don't you keep a huge master spreadsheet with names and what they order? Oh, yes, Johnny, yes, we do. My wife does that. It's thousands of names. So the management of that, it is basically what my wife does is she's got the title, hey Nick, good to see you. She's the logistics manager. So she kind of deals with all of the spreadsheets and the maths, the postage, managing the postage. It's basically part-time to full-time job. Now, we've just had the summer holidays, which we try and coincide any sort of big events with the summer holidays, like this campaign. So the posting out of it has kind of nicely coincided with that. So we've been able to get a lot of it out. But she has a full-time job alongside what she does for DR Games. And so that management of that, we kind of, she needs to spend a little bit. She's basically a Senko. She works with special needs children like I used to. And she's basically full-time there. And then she comes back and she does this. What we're doing is building up for her to come into the business full time in the next year. That's where we're kind of aiming for. So I am the only full-time person in the business, which it means, you know, I only have so many hours. I do roughly 12 hours a day, and that means that I get drawn into the logistics side of it, and I don't really want to have to be doing that. I just want to be designing, creating, putting out new content for you guys. But it's a balancing act. We're a growing company, and thanks to you guys and the support we've had, we're kind of growing, and it kind of, that's kind of where we're at the moment. This game will facilitate hopefully both of us working full time on it. Which is really exciting. So that's kind of, I don't know why I went on a bit there about that, but you know, I try and be as real as I can with everybody to try and help people understand where we are with it. So it then comes down to the minutiae, so the admin and all that adds up, and when we're sending out the wrong messages or trying to manage addresses and stuff like that, that is just like part of this mass amount of information we're trying to manage. And we're not going to have someone like BackerKit take their 10% and then do a shit job, which they do, and hassle you for advertising money and stuff like that. I've heard some really bad stuff about some of these third-party people that become the middleman. We want to handle all that and make that personal, you know. So sorry about that. The details of who got what should be in Kickstarter, I think, but it may not be organised the way you want. So we take, obviously, that we're when this isn't the first time we've run a Kickstarter. Obviously, hi Brian, how you doing? Good to see you. So we download all the data, and then once a campaign finishes, people think that that's it for the information for the backers. But many backers then contact you, want to change addresses, or they want to update their pledges. And then we get new backers, late pledges, which are just beautiful, beautiful people that come on later in the project. And then, so we've got another 1,000 people, or however many it is, and it is just like this huge thing. And so far, it's been running very smoothly. So fingers crossed, it carries on that way, and you guys are pleased. Because we sent out hundreds of packages, once in a while we get one that is damaged, and they're the ones that people see because people leave a message and you're like, damn. But then there's 1,000 other packages which have got fine to their location. So it's little things like that. We try and balance it and make it work. In Lairs, nobody can hear you scream except wandering monsters. Absolutely. So that's kind of where we're at. I hope I didn't miss anybody's comments there. Yes. So, we are pleased with this. I would say, if anything, it's slightly slimmer than I thought it would be. But the quality of the book, I mean, it's undeniable. It sits next to the others with the same quality. And when we do the Kickstarter at the end of this year, in a few months, it will be, we will have the same print for the next expansion. In fact, we're going to do a Lairs Expansion Volume 2 with 2 more layers, and then we're going to combine that into one book as well. So there are going to be options, and we're also looking at doing more faux leather stuff, assuming once the faux leathers come, they are good. I'm pretty sure they're going to be. Do you even have a chance to scream? Listen, I am not, don't get me wrong, I am not complaining in the slightest. I am privileged to do what I do. Every day I come down, I shift into this fantasy world, and I'm writing and creating and drawing, and it's just a privilege, and I'm very lucky to be where I am. So it is awesome. I love doing it, and you guys are going to benefit. Javier, slightly off topic. Has anyone tried printing the cards using my files provided by Toby Kickstarter? Curious if there's more people with issues with it other than William on Facebook. Well, Javier, I haven't heard anybody else say. Yeah. I don't think so. I just think that there is occasionally people don't click they press the wrong button or something, and then it doesn't quite print properly. Not many people have said anything, so, well, only William. I can't reproduce. What it turns. Will the cards be available on your shop in the future? Yes. Screaming is overrated. Scalum says, I go straight to running away. No running away in the dungeon, I'm afraid. It's forward momentum. Will the card? Yes. So that's a great question, Cody. Thank you for that. Once the foes have been sent out, we're going to shift all the stuff onto the shop. We're going to have a special page where we have all the products plus any new additional stuff that may be sort of smaller merch or additional, maybe some additional stuff. I haven't really thought about what that will be yet. But the website is the main focus for the physical products. At the moment, that's where we want people to come to buy the products. It will be available as a PDF on Drive-Thru RPG. It's just a source of income for us that is going to be important. And we want... but it will be more expensive on Drive-Thru RPG because they take their percentage as well. They've got to work, they've got to run, but we can sell it through our website at a cheaper price and still make more money than we would do if we're selling it more expensively on Drive-Thru RPG. So you've got to think about that. Adventurers Monsters version of DoorDash, lol. Yes. Is there a backer card set and a free card set, or are they both the same? Johnny, they're all, there's one set of cards, and they are the one set. With the expansion, we'll be doing a new set of cards like these with all the monsters from the Lairs, plus additional content for 2d6, and get this, 2d6 realm. Not kingdom, 2d6 realm. That is what it's going to be called. It's been a change of name. The working title has now changed to the final title, which is going to be 2d6 realm. Do you know when on drive-through, Kai, that's probably going to be in a couple of weeks. Probably a couple of weeks. Awesome. Love taking a peek at your shop every once in a while. Lol. I'm going to order the physical cards and 2d6 paperback from the with these Lairs included. Sounds like the best way to go for me. Excellent. Thank you, Cody. Domestic at a higher price and lower shipping, or international at a lower price and higher shipping. It might be about the same either way. Finally, love the name. Javier, thank you. 2d6 realm rather than kingdom. Well, the prices, James, are... We do really good postage prices. Really cheap compared to a lot of people. We have a business account with Royal Mail, which allows us a cheaper price. So we've worked hard. My wife, Jo, has worked hard to get a deal with the Royal Mail. And we, as a consequence, can do good prices on the postage. As you probably also... Scott is here. Ithacus Bane. I never quite say that right. Good to see you. You, Scott, are on the list of things I want to talk about today. I will go into 2d6 realm a little bit more later. But it's good. This is a good point to mention Scott's video series. It's been fantastic. I've enjoyed watching it over the last couple of weeks. Copy his name and type that in to YouTube. Check it out. I know that most of you have already. I'm saying it now for the vlog, and for those of you maybe who haven't. Really enjoyed. It's really fun seeing, Scott, you have such a good understanding of the rules of the game. And when you come across something you're not sure about, excellent. Thank you, Cody. JB, Scott, Brett. Good to see you. When you question a rule, you always check it, and you always get in there and sort it out, and then you resolve some things with some inventive usage, which I really love. I love how you've been doing it, and I've really enjoyed watching it. And I'm really pleased because there seems to be a good following of people who want to keep watching those videos, and I understand that it is having done lots of videos myself, you don't necessarily go beyond 5 episodes, but I'm just pleased that there's been some interest and it's brought some footfall, if you like, to your channel, Scott. So good stuff. So I missed a few here. Scalum, will you also be adding the infamous and highly unstable 3d6 dimension? No. 2d6 all the way. No 4d3s either. Thank you, Johnny. I'll have to compare prices then if there's something I want to get and haven't already ordered. Yeah, of course, James. So we had a couple of people that say they're enjoying your playthrough, Scott. So that's nice. Brett, yeah, I got the Brett. I got the Brett. It takes me a moment. It's the J at the front that throws me. I remember you saying that's your wife's name, Julia and Brett. Is it Julia or something like that? Juliet or something like that. It's slightly discombobulating when you see the names appear on the chat and you're like, and their avatars or their abbreviations or whatever. I remembered. Some of it goes in. So yeah, all these the tables are crisp. Really pleased with the Lairs expansion. So that is really good. So postage wise, we have so we've got, there's been a few things that have come up. Obviously now we've got the Lairs, we can send out all the postage combinations that included a Lairs. In fact, we can send out every postage combination apart from any that include the faux leather. I've always said the faux leather was going to be the last one. They take an age to make these books because they're going to be beautiful. And so we're starting to send these out. So it's going to be hardback, paperbacks, and Lairs. It's going to be Lairs, paperbacks, and cards. It's going to be hardbacks, Lairs, and cards. It's going to be that whole combination. So we've got something like 400 to 600 packages to send out over the next week, and it will take time to do that. But I would argue that we will do it quicker than some of these dispatch companies that seem to sit around for weeks with the stuff. So learn something new on the game every time I watch a playthrough. Yeah, there are little intricacies with 2D6. For me, it's a game that some people will play differently. You know, it will still be 2D6 Dungeon. It will still have that guise. You will still recognise it as that game because they are using the tables to explore. It's the little things around it that people feel comfortable with, and that's fine. You know, this game comes from my memories of playing the red box set of D&D when I was 13. You know, playing it, sending it out for my brothers, and that whole, and then the over the years, the immersion of playing games like Dungeon Master, and you know, it's all about it is about that experience. And I've completely forgotten what I was talking about. How long do you reckon the shipping within UK? Javier, what kind of almost just a standard, but we have a business thing, so they go bulk in special bags, and they're not just like within the main system, so they get priority. Goblins are working furiously to get those fake cowskin books bound exactly. How long do you reckon for shipping? So I reckon just a few days, Javier. Of course, Scotland, I don't know whether there's any issues over the border in Scotland, whether that, is there a problem with that? Whether there's, I don't see why there shouldn't be. I feel bad. Aren't you paying double postage? I already see 2D6. Now you're going to send Lairs. Brett, you shouldn't have received, if you've, there may be one or two people that have, because they've put tag stuff on, they're getting a second package. That's fine. It's just as a general rule, we couldn't do that to everybody. Can you imagine if someone ordered the Lair, the faux, the hardback, the paperback, and we send them out individually? It would bankrupt us, you know. So, you know, we have to post them all together. Otherwise, it's just totally uneconomical. I've got some leave due mid-October. I'm hoping my faux leather and other goodies will be here by then, but if not, I still have Radzone Totality. I suspect it may be close. Clive, I don't think so. I think you're going to get it before the end of September. I think. Where were you based again, Clive? It usually takes about 10 days to get across to America. So we're going to get the phone a week. So, yeah. Tell you what, these foes, they're going to be gorgeous. Did you back Lairs? If you did, you shouldn't have gotten yours yet. It depends. Scalem, incidentally, Scalem, I'm loving your posts on Facebook, my friend. Thank you for those. It's getting late here in Denmark, so I'll run off. Have a great evening, everyone, and may the dice gods be on your side forever. Thank you for coming, Scalem. I really do appreciate your support. Brett, I thought I did. We'll check. Yeah, check that. It is a little bit... Jeff, that's what drew me to this project, drawing dungeons on graph paper. Your walkthrough with Arundel, Nox helped tremendously in learning the game. Good. I am going to do some other videos, some tutorials. And I know I keep saying this, and I will do them. But now I feel there is probably a bit of space for me, a bit of head space, where I can think about how I can do that most effectively. It probably will be the top-down drawing like I've been doing with the playthroughs. But I was thinking maybe there was another way of combining it with the computer. Maybe there's some way within that aspect. SMP block Royal Mail. They want Scott Mail instead. Probably. I like that. Yes, Johnny, you're not wrong. The lady, what's her name? She's gone now, though, isn't she? Liz Truss? No, that's yeah, one of those. Clive, I'm in South Africa. Okay, Clive, you should be fine then. Yeah, I bet the Lairs, it was changed before the campaign ends. I must have glitched your process. I'll send you extra shipping. No, what? No, don't worry about it. Brett, it's fine. We'll just send it. Sturgeon is gone, thank God. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so over the next few days, we're going to be posting out all the other stuff, all the other combinations, which is hundreds and hundreds of packages. We're going to get some space back in the house because there's boxes everywhere. And so everybody's going to be receiving their stuff. The Lairs is here. So another bit of news is we have 1 minute. So, I don't know what people are going to think about this. I won't get. So I don't know what people. I don't know what people are going to think about this. So remember the saga with the cards, okay? So beautiful. The cards we're just so pleased with. They are wonderful, but there was a problem with some of the cards. Here we go. All right. Can we get Toby plushes added to the store? Wearing a 2d6 t-shirt and holding 2d6. That sounds atrocious, Javier. That sounds absolutely atrocious. Okay, so all the cards, they're just so beautiful. We're so pleased with them. But there was that issue, wasn't there, with the border. You can see here. So we've got those thin borders there. Well, I went back to them and the company admitted to making the error. Because we went over the emails and they said, oh yes, we didn't update the PDF that we printed. And so they have consequently printed the cards again. These 3 cards. So you can see here, with no cost to us. So they printed them. So what we're doing is we are putting these in the cards. Okay, and it isn't making any difference to their functionality, but in the boxes we are putting these in. So you will have 2 sets of cards, one with a thin border and one with a thicker border. Okay, and they are going in. So anybody now who has ordered these cards will get the ones with the right size borders around them. Okay, now that first wave of cards that went out didn't have those included. We didn't know whether we were going to be able to get them, and due to timing and getting everything posted, they haven't gone out. Now, if you didn't get those cards and you have another order from us, you can always send us a note and we can just include those with it. We aren't going to be sending them out individually. It's just, again, it's the price and the logistics of it would just be a nightmare. But if you do get something else and you're buying something, we can just slot them into your order, or in future we'll put them in there for you. You just need to leave a note for us. It doesn't affect the game, but I thought I would mention it because it may come up. Some people may say that they have 2 sets of those cards in their cards, and you'll see it. This is transparency, okay? I wanted to let people know. So if that people do become aware of that, it is only because we went back to them and then they finally said, yeah, we reprint them, and we couldn't wait for that. So that is the case. Those of you that have the other original ones, that they are still completely functional and work perfectly well. So that is just a little bit of update there that people probably might have been wondering about. That has come up in the streams before. Plushy talk. So we get bonus combat cards or just the correct ones? Just the correct. They get added in. They're bonus cards basically. If you haven't got your cards already, yeah. This is quite a lot of work. The fact you do it is, it is a pain. It's 1,000 boxes of cards that need to be opened and then cards put in. I have got my son doing some of that today, so yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're good doing that. That's appreciated for us OCD folks. Javier, no problem. There is that aspect to it. Yes, it would hurt me. Dominic, I guess I need to find something else to buy. Damn my luck. I guess you could always send me a stamped address envelope. Back in the day, in Blue Peter. I don't know whether some of you will know what Blue Peter is. Johnny, you'll know Blue Peter, obviously. Those Brits and some aspiring expats will know Blue Peter, and they would say, send us a stamped address envelope and we'll send you this, that sort of thing. Downship. So if you did want to send me a stamped address envelope to the web to our address, then we can send you those cards in that stamped address envelope and just post them back to you. It's a justification to the missus, lol. Oh, that's fine. Feel free. There's going to be more stuff going on it as we move through this year and next. Yeah, in the US, I think we call it a self-addressed stamped envelope. There, yeah, similar type of thing. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It saves the company from having to fork out tons of postage costs. And we all know that the postage costs are an absolute pain in the arse. I think we've just about covered everything there. And we've got the faux leather's probably another week, I reckon. They've had about 2 weeks. So they said 3 weeks. I've had nothing from them, but that's fine. I've got very, very much a feel that is how they operate. And Johnny comes in with sticky backed plastic. Oh, I still have that stuff, Johnny. It's glorious. Missed that there. So yeah, loads of posters going out. We'll let you. They'll probably, hopefully, be wonderful if the foe came before Tuesday next week. I have nothing that says to me that would be the case, but it'd be great to be able to do a stream next week with the foe and show you what it's like. That'd be fantastic. And then we've got so everything else will be posted out. Yeah, and then we're going to gradually reach the end of all the postage, and everybody will hopefully have their products. And there's going to be a few people that don't get it, because when you send out 2,000 packages, 1 or 2 don't get there. So we'll deal with those people and send out the stuff. But at that point, we will be putting it onto the website and onto Drive-Thru-RPG. So that's kind of like rounding that up there. So we're doing good, and everything seems to be on target. Now on my list here, I got Scott's coverage. I've mentioned, and we've had a little chat about that already. It's been fantastic. I recommend going to see that. I did notice that on Board Game Geek, so I go on there. We've got the videos have gone on to the Board Game Geek. We've got some good forums there, and the rating for the game has gone in. So if you know Board Game Geek, you can go into it and click on the game and give it a rating out of 10. And at the moment, 2D6 Dungeon is at 8.5, which is fantastic. Not many games are that high. Jim, how are you doing? Good to see you, my friend. So if you've got content or if you've got stuff to share, please go to Board Game Geek as well as the Facebook page, and you can share it there and put it up on that page. And if you feel like giving us a rating, that would be awesome as well. So that's pretty much where we're at with that. Daniel, just late pledged yesterday, pending hearing back after sending my postage info. So excited, joining the stream late. Has he already flipped through the book, curious about its contents? Are you talking about the Lairs? So for the Lairs Expansion, if you want to see the other books, we've got those on earlier streams. Yes, Lairs. Okay, so it's got its own little spine there. It's the slimmest book. So you've got your intro, you've got your contents, we've got some blurb, an example. We've got the tables here. You can see the tables. And then we've got the monsters at the back here. There are 4 variants of the same monsters for each one, so that you can go into it at the different levels. And that's volume 1 of the Lairs. There'll be another one coming later in the year. So there we go. Are you doing signed copies? Well, if people ask, I try to remember. Well, I'm happy to sign stuff if you want me to. I mean, I do. I'm a little bit, when little details like that, I sometimes forget. So I do apologise if people have asked me to do it and I've forgotten to do it. I try and remember as much as I can. I make a note of it, and as I was saying before, we have this massive list of people. Awesome, and thank you. Are the monsters in the back included in the cards if we back them? Daniel, that is a good question. They're not, but with the next Kickstarter in a few months, we're doing 2D6 Realm, which is the overland version for this. But with that, we're doing another Lairs Expansion, Volume 2, and that will have a series of monsters like these ones, and they will be in a set of cards for that expansion. There's going to be other cards in that expansion which are going to include people, characters you encounter, and not just monsters. and may well be like overseer cards. Now, 2d6 Realm, which was called 2d6 Kingdom, is going to have other mechanics which enable you to manage your lands, but you hire an overseer who has certain skills, and you can train them, and they act on your behalf, and you give them orders or what you hope for, and you then train up your overseer by buying them stuff or equipment or training, and then you then generate the land, and the overseer helps manage. So you kind of play, the overseer becomes like a character who's part of the game, and that is an important part of the new 2d6 Realm. Ants with round rooms, lol. Damn, wish I'd gone physical for Lairs. Looks awesome. Was the Lairs PDF sent in August, the final version? Yeah, no, we sent... Right. Did you not get it, Scott? It was sent out a couple of weeks ago. I'm finding a few people didn't get it. Lots of people did. Would you like me to resend that to you? It's no problem. Yeah. Who knows? If someone has done such lovely coverage, we may send one out anyway. Let's just see. Even if it is going out to Malaysia. Giant, hyper-intelligent ant colonies in sand. Well, actually, there is an ant in the infernal caves. There's the Fernicar, which is an ant-like insect creature based upon sort of fire ants. And so we've got ants already, so you kind of can't really do them again. You can probably buy the books from the website. Yeah, you will be able to buy the books from the website. So much to look forward to. I love it. Thanks for all the info. No problem, Daniel. That is no problem. It is. It's been awesome. People's responses. Don't get emails after August. Didn't get it. Would appreciate resending link. Cheers. No problem. I'll send that through to you, and we'll get that sorted. Yes. If you do spot through all your wonderful play there, Scott, if you spot any, there are like one or two errors in the main book, but I think we will, if we did a second printing, we'd just iron those out. So just drop me an email, Scott, if there's anything that you think needs to be looked at. But the whole thing about this is we've laboured over this. Everybody has been so helpful. And I'm just so pleased. They are a nice set, and there's more to come. So 2d6 Realm is the next one. It was 2d6 Kingdom, and I'm working on that at the moment. I've been working on lists of, because they're basically what you do is you generate plots of land, and there are kind of cascade effects as you generate these lands. So there are different types, and you generate a plot, and then there are you claim there you can claim certain land, and then there's a certain procedure you have to go through to get other bits of land. There are sort of deserted buildings which you can automatically sort of draw into your realm, and you gain titles based upon the amount of land that you own. So there's this whole process, but within all that makeup, there are going to be little adventures and little encounters that you can go and fight and get involved with, getting rid of the monsters from the land, going on quests. So it's not like a trek across the land, it's a like expansion of your realm, and as you do it, you experience what is there. Plus, you can go down to a dungeon, find some gold, come out and build yourself some walls or some town or some buildings, and that's all going to be there. +1 to have a signed copy of the game, Toby, if you remember. Right. Okay. Javier, and who was else that said? Who else said it? I can't. Oh, James. Who else was it? Who wanted it signed? I'll try and remember. I'm going to put it on there. I'll get Joe to put it on there. I'll try and send you guys that are more involved a bit of a longer message as well. But Jeff, Robert, I'd love to get my hands on a hard. We'll use the soft covers for gameplay. Okay. Okay, I'm writing this down now. Oh, hang on. Oh my God. Okay. 2 to 6 realms. I'll have my employer redirect all my paychecks to you. Take my money. Thanks, Brett. The whole thing it's great. I'm loving designing it. I was most active in the early days of testing, to be honest. Yes, lost the plot a bit as things start to move too quickly for my spare time. Maybe it would be nice if all the playtesters automatically get a signed copy. I've sent the playtesters. All the playtesters get a special signed. It's like a print, basically, a copy of some cards. The cards with a signed and a little note on it. So you do get something special for that. Toby's going to run out of ink writing down all the requests. Not everybody wants a signed copy, though, you see. So I'm going to be a little bit. Yeah. So. So I've tried to include something special for the playtesters. You know, and Johnny, truth of the matter is, most people play a game for maybe the most sort of 2 weeks. There's a few that stay on it longer, but I don't expect people to go sort of keep playing for months and months and months. You just don't. Your brain wants to do other stuff, and that's perfectly fine. So I don't think there's most people do that, so it's not a problem. I didn't know we'd get anything special. That's awesome. Thank you. No problem, Javier. It's when we send those packages out, we've highlighted who the testers are, and we're sending out something a bit special. I've gotten signed book plates like that before from some good book. That's also nice. Yes. Up the ante, signed numbered copies. Just kidding. Yeah. I feel like what's happening is a bit of a revolution in game design. I think that there has been an atmosphere of interest in solo player games, and that has come from lockdown, from the COVID age, and people want to play games, and there has just been an explosion of games, and that has seen people wanting to make more complex games, and that's where I kind of come in. My company's grown, I've kind of like got to the point where I'm thinking, well, there's some simpler solo player games, but we want to simulate some proper DMs here with some complex tables. We want to make the games more interesting, lots of different options, and I see that coming. I think that this is what my game is part of. It's part of a revolution of games, and there's so many good games coming out. And it's given birth to platforms like itch.io. Now, I know they were doing computer games and stuff like that, but there's a lot of games on there now that you can download, and that platform is growing as a consequence of people, solo players, wanting to grab games, you know. And I think that there is, I just generally across the board, I watch a lot of channels, and I just generally feel like there is this atmosphere where people are like, I want more. I want games. We want games. And I just get this feeling, and I'm loving it. It's really kind of, it's really fascinating. And I think we're going to see some great stuff over the next 5 years. I think it's going to be like, this is a really great time to be playing solo games and, you know, other games. I think that the wave of massive board games, they're still there, but they're now being accompanied by some other more sort of indie products. People having to take them seriously. I was opposite Johnny, missed the early testing and got in later. Thank Jeff, thank heavens you did, because as I was explaining, the early testers maybe sort of dropped off, and then Jeff, you were there to sort of help see me through at the end, which I so appreciate, my friend. You really did help. Gold-plated certificate of authenticity. My interest was born from my kids moving out. Empty nest syndrome. Well, there you go. I think that there are a couple of things. I think there's a big group of, say, 40 to 60 or 70-year-olds who are craving for the nostalgia of the pre-computer ages, you know, where we had a lot of tabletop gaming, and there's a lot. Not to say there's not a lot of young people involved, because there are, but there's definitely this vibe to try and get something back from our childhoods, and I'm kind of, obviously, I'm trying to feed into that a little bit. The next game I'm developing, which is these is some of the prototypes, Intergalactic Space Trader. Okay, it's this little ship's passport. I wanted sort of passport-sized books. That one I'm sort of just doing on the side at the moment is inspired largely by Elite, the trading game, and that is coming along nicely, and I'm really excited about telling you guys about that game once we get 2D6 past the faux leather stage. I will be explaining a bit more about that. So that's exciting. That's going to be exciting. It's a way for fantasy, which is obviously the main one, but this one is going to be released on itch.io at the moment and not Kickstarter. So it's just going to go live. People are going to access it, and I'll see. We'll do something more with it later, because we're going to be launching a 2D6 project at the end of the year. We really don't have space to launch another project. I never like to feel like they're hanging projects and people haven't got their stuff and you start a new one. I never have liked that. So yeah, we're going to have that going on there. So that's going to be exciting. Maybe in the future we'll kickstart it, maybe with some plush books, maybe some plush kind of proper passport style books. I've been developing solo. Johnny says I've been developing solo rules for tabletop games that at first glance doesn't lend itself to solo play. It's kind of fun, challenging, and mimic another player's thought processes. Yeah, there's some great guides on BGG that you can download for things like Talisman and Space Hulk and all those awesome classic Games Workshop games which I grew up on. And you publish them there because people give you feedback and it gets you a bit of notoriety, and there are some great designers that do that sort of thing solely. When I was a playtester for the Dark Age Miniatures game, I was given a copy of the rulebook with a message from Brom himself. Love getting the type of recognition after all the work. Yeah, absolutely. I just released my kid level... released my kid level intro starship combat rules with minis. Simple, can be good. Absolutely. I just released my kid level intro starship combat rules. That's a bit of a mouthful. Todd, I don't know, what do you want to put a link on there for that so people can have a look at that, or share it in the Facebook group if that's like just a free supplement? I don't know. Just shoot a quick email to. Oh, okay, Javier. I think I saw that. Thank you for that confirmation. Joe will check through that. Federation of Free Traders. Yeah, exactly. Brett, stop, please. I'm running out of money. Space is a Well, Brett, this game is going to be free, so you won't need to pay any money for this. In space, no one can hear you scream. I've had that quoted numerous times today. These books aren't very large. They don't require that much space. No, they don't. They're designed. The reason why this game is designed. Whenever I design a game, I design it for me. So I want to play the games that I make. These games are designed so I can put them in my back pocket and then pull it out and just fly my spaceship to another planet that you generate, and then you have a ship manual, and in here there are certain radar events, and then you can go to the planet, and then you go down and you can see there are tables in it, so you don't need dice. You can just plump your pen down and you pick a number, generate your planets, find out what the goods are cost, buy some goods, fly to another planet and sell it. And it's just a simple, well, it's actually not simple. It's actually a complex game to make. It's a simple game to play. So, but there will be expansions. So very much like some of the other games on itch.io. The game itself is free. You get a sample. You get a couple of ships with it. You can buy new ships for the expansions, which is where hopefully we can make a little bit of money. But I like to give something away free. Alex, I joined late on the stream, but I heard 2D6 Kingdom at the end of the year. 2D6 Realm, Alex. Good to see you. It puts stars in my eyes. Cool. So it's 2D6 Realm. It's Overland. End of the year. Probably looking at, God, the year's fast flying ahead, isn't it? Probably will be kind of launched. Well, hopefully it'll be launched in November or December. It depends, because because we also do role play supplements. I'm just putting one is going to be going live next week, and I will talk about that next week, but not at the moment. You guys are the games guys. I don't know whether you'd be interested in role play supplements, but that is part of my company. So games at the moment is a good 70%, and then 30% of roleplay supplements, but it's an important income stream for us and my family. So we do those, and they kind of sit next to the games. But that's coming out, so I've been doing a little bit of work on that, which is quite nice, because I love writing narrative, and so it's called The Minotaur Labyrinth. It's the 4th book of the Infested Building series. Some of you know about this. And that's going to be launched next week on Kickstarter through Dark Realm Roleplay, not DR Games. I have a game, Escape from the Dark Sector. Yes, it's a great quick narrative game with cards and dice. Escape from the Dark Sector. That is the black and white game, isn't it? Am I right? I think I am. Escape Dark Castle, which is by the same company. Yes, I've met the guys. They're really nice. I had a good chat. I had a chat with them. They're a little bit bored of just doing those 2 games, though. I'll tell you now. I spoke to the artist, and he said he's keen to move on to another project. But I had a look at those, and yeah, they seem okay. But I watched the playthrough, and I just thought, they could make these games a bit more complex and not have them seem complex. The range of options, to me, I just sort of thought to myself, they could have increased it. I think that maybe I'm a bit obsessed with open world, you see. Sandbox games where you're not necessarily stuck to a rigid design. I think that's one of my principles when I'm thinking of it. When I want to play a game, I want it to be as open world as possible. Jeff, just want to pop in and say I'm loving 2D6 so far. Can't seem to find a darn ventilation shaft in the second level though. Bad roll, so I don't know how much further I'm going to make it. Oh, well, Jeff Porter, good luck, my friend. Good luck. It is tough. It is tough. But getting that level of toughness, I think if it was too easy, people just wouldn't enjoy it as much. I think it's the death, it's the big bosses, it's the apothecary on the first level. That's what gives it that edge. So hang in there. Don't forget about your potions. Look at your ingredients. Can you make potion bombs? You know, think about these things. Essentially the same game. Yes, Johnny, yes. Cool, free is good, yeah. But as I say, there will be other bits you can buy as add-ons that will then expand the game. I'm just patiently waiting for all my stuff to arrive. I bought everything and I'm really looking forward to it. Alan, thank you. Alan Bray, thank you, my friend. It won't be long now. Hopefully there'll be news next week of the foes, and then we're going to try and bang those out as quickly as we can. So, yeah, the escape games are great. Godzilla, yes, they look fantastic. You know, really sort of classic bit OSR type drawings, really good stuff. I think maybe the game publishers push for simplicity. Yes, some publishers do. Look, you can achieve simplicity even if the design of the game is complex. So you've got to think about it like that. What's the replayability for these things? It is tricky, and you can say, right, I just want a simple game, and I will go for a simple game, and I'll play it, and I'll play it once, and in that one play, I'll see all the connotations, and I'll be like, oh, I've kind of lived it, and then I might not go back to that game once I've played it once. But if I go to a game and I play it, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, so many rooms to experience, so much stuff to do, then I'll go back and relive it and experience it. I'm not a big fan of games where you have a campaign and you got books and stickers and you have to go through like that and it's just one thing. That's not for me. That isn't my favourite type of game. I much prefer to go into a game and I just don't know what's going to hit me. It's complete. It's structured randomness. That's what I want to bring to people, and that's what you get with Dungeons and Dragons. If you think about it, red box, you go into a dungeon, didn't know what you were going to get. You know, there was a DM doing that for you. So I think maybe the game publishers push. Yeah, Todd, you had mentioned about complex games these days. My response was more about simple rules to bring new gamer generations in, not intended to hijack things here. No, absolutely, Todd. I'm just giving you my slant on it, and I think there are really good range. But it's almost like the game intelligence has upped a notch. The general people's experiences. So entry games used to be Monopoly, but now it's Ticket to Ride in the board gaming community, or Settlers of Catan. Maybe not a best example, but entry level games are more complex now. I think people are being drawn into the board gaming community a bit more easily, a bit more acceptable. There are pubs and bars that do it much more. There's much more selection rather than just the kind of strange pub that I used to go to and play games. It's a bit kind of funky. You know, there's the gaming in society has evolved, and there will be papers written about it. Godzilla says their next release in Escape series is much more complex than the first two. I think we're kind of picking at hairs here. The word complex is kind of almost, the implication is by saying something simple, it is negative. That's not what I mean, in the sense that, but, you know, the fact that the game is going to be more involved and have more options is a great thing. I would particularly, that sounds really interesting. And I think that is just how, as I was saying, the gaming intelligence of the community has grown, gaming experience has grown, and we will see games that bring in other options. Ooh. So Jonathan says, I got the +6 damage rune on level 3. Seems like a huge jump in power. But it's only a one-off use for that in Jonathan A. That rune is only once per combat though, right? Yes, as I just said. So it's like one extra hit. More impactful against the lower level monsters. Monopoly has layers of complexity, Johnny says. I still play Monopoly. Okay, I'm not embarrassed to say that. I still play Monopoly. It is a game that some people like to play, so I will just tag along and buy the orange set and thrash them. No, I'm not really that competitive when it comes to Monopoly. Although I know some people who are. I mean, yes, but that is also because Monopoly is absolute shit by design. Now, yeah, you know, you could argue that. I mean, like, look, it's not in my top 10 games, put it that way. Javier, I think we have to agree to disagree here. I brought up on Monopoly, and like any good iconic capitalist, I feel like there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek going on here. Toby, I did not take it that way, just that they added some form of world around the game, making it less linear. Oh, that's good. That's good. Linear is a key word. Thank you. Thank you, Godzilla. Is the word more. That is a better word. I prefer it to be open world rather than linear. Was not saying complex is the more... Okay, cool. Excellent, man. Old Ken Road every time. Actually, Old Ken Road and the orange set, that slaughters. The original games are fairly hard, and the original games are fairly hard. Yeah, true. Javier, sure. So did I, but it's one of the dullest experiences ever. It has so many design flaws. Yeah, it does. You know, they designed it like 100 years ago. They didn't know. I really don't like Ticket to Ride. I really don't like Ticket to Ride. Scott has just put on their Monopoly with one of those puking heads. Board games and computer games both suffer being limited by their nature. RPGs and similar games that are designed with the ability to go beyond their set script are much more interesting. See, I don't see that division so much. I reckon you can combine the RPG elements into board games, which is what I'm trying to do with these games. So, yeah. Look, I loved DMing. I don't get to do it at the moment. I need to make more time to really... I think my kids would like me to DM Star Wars RPG for them. But I just haven't had the time to set it up, really, which is terrible. Yeah, definitely. Good to see you. Just pledged a few days ago. Looking forward to playing. Might add Lairs later. What was your design motivation behind the Lairs? I heard you say it was for low-level characters. Really good question, That actually has changed. The design ideas behind the Lairs was originally just to give a different experience, but then as through these sorts of conversations as the game developed, people questioned, you know, is there going to be an over land type thing? And I was thinking, yes, let's do overland. And what we need, we could utilize the lairs to be kind of like cash cows, where you can go into a lair, fight a few monsters, get some gold, come back and build some stuff in your realm, in your 2d6 realm, which is the expansion, which is coming later in the year. So there was kind of like, I wanted to provide a different experience with a slightly different looking map that then can facilitate the growth of the character on the surface. And there was also the thought that if you went down to, say, level 3 and you're still a level 2 character, that you could go into a realm and get some more experience, get up to level 3, come out again, and then carry on with the dungeon. So it has a kind of function. It kind of helps you get gold, experience, some new adventures, just something different. You could just take a level 1 character for the fun of it, you know. It just gives you more options. Yeah, it can be fun in different ways, as Godzilla has said there very wisely. Javier, to be fair, I don't like Catan either. It's just fancy Monopoly, but less shit, which is not hard because Monopoly is, as mentioned, yeah, anyway. He's obviously triggered. Monopoly triggers me so hard. This could be an entire thesis on game design. Well, actually, that does interest me. Up until fairly recently, I was doing a doctorate in creative arts, and I'm thinking sometime in the future maybe I might change that doctorate or reapply and do game theory or something like that as a doctorate, and have a look at maybe even a game theory on solo play games. So it would be you have to write a paper, a proposal to the university, and you have to get someone who's willing to take you on as their, I've forgotten what the term is now, but that has entered my mind a bit, and that's, you know, something that I could look at doing in the future. I have a degree and a master's, and the doctorate is the next stage, and I'm just fascinated by that. Games like Monopoly, Risk and Chess have been replaced by much better games nowadays. Less reliance on the dice, good for me, with more interesting themes and mechanisms. Yeah, absolutely, Scott. I completely agree. Risk. It's one of those games you played as a teenager. It was so great, but now you play it and it's just like just rolling die and moving little figures, which, you know, it's not great. But having said that, I do like the die, and I do like a random element in a game, because I think that life certainly has random elements to it. I'm not a massive Euro gamer. I play them, don't get me wrong, but I kind of get quite bored of just moving blocks around boards when it could be any game. The theme loses all its meaning. I like a mix of complex and then kind of American kind of theme-based type games, which, you know, hopefully is what I'm putting together with some of this stuff. I would not put chess as a board game, even though I tend to agree. Love chess, but that's really something. I think that chess is like its own beast. Solo game psychology, absolutely, Johnny. I mean, I think I'm kind of getting to that point where I'm quite qualified to be able to talk about that and write about it, and I think that it may unlock part of people's psychology and how people approach life, because I say there's an increasing interest in using games to educate people. So there's this whole field is a growing one. That's one of the things 2D6 does well. It's expandable, customizable. If I want to put in the effort, Hence, it's not really limited like board games and all. Yeah. Well, no, thank you for saying that, Todd. That has always been my aim. I've always thought you can see it's influenced by role playing. That's what this game is about. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so much there. There's so much there, guys. You are awesome. I think we're going to leave it there. So, hopefully, we're going to have some exciting news. The foes are going to turn up, hopefully, next week. And people are going to start receiving their stuff in the post who haven't started receiving it already. There's hundreds of packages going out this week. So, all across the world, everywhere, Australia, Malaysia, America, Scotland, we've got them going to Saudi Arabia, we've got them going everywhere, Malta, we've got them going all over Europe. That's going to be Europe's the trouble one. There's always countries in Europe that want to try and stop postage getting in, no matter what we do. Stuff in the post, yes. Scott says, I find games like Summoner Wars bring similar base mechanics to chess, but have more interesting theme and more elements to the gameplay. McCurdo Station, Antarctica. It wouldn't surprise me if there was someone in Antarctica receiving a copy of 2D6 Dungeon. Let's hope there is. Let's hope there is. Right. So, guys, final questions. Anybody's got any final questions? Otherwise, we can call it a night there. And I'm going to follow up those emails. Scott as well. And we need to make a list of signed copies there. So I need to do that. Thanks, Toby and Joe. We appreciate you. Thank you, Alan. Good night, Cody. I might be closest. Cape Town, Clive, excellent. Can't wait to see the faux leather next week, I hope. Yeah, exactly. That's going to be so cool. See you, Scott. I'm going to be watching that video, waiting for the next episode, loving it. Later, Todd. Even though you sent me PDFs, I'm waiting for the physical books. Got to keep the spirit alive. It feeds the soul. Indeed it does. Good night, all. You've been awesome, guys. I will catch up with you very soon. Don't forget the Facebook page. Lots of stuff going on there. I love seeing people's books turning up. And Board Game Geek, get in there. Give us a rating. Take it easy, guys. I will see you very soon. I'll see you next week. Take care.